PTurtle, what's going on?
You can hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I watched that clip earlier, man. I mean, why hire somebody like that? Can you imagine if it was a guy saying something like that about a bunch of girls? What would happen to him? He would get kicked off. He would have been destroyed.
Wait a minute. Saying what about a bunch of guys? Or saying a guy saying what about a bunch of girls?
I'm talking about just going off script to hurt the brain. She's clearly hurting their brain. And I also want to say this: that Adam Sessler guy, I never liked him. He's been a progressive joke. What was the last? You ever seen the God of War Ascension thing, where he made a big stink about the Bros Over Hoes trophy?
I didn't, but I heard about it. But I mean, I do think it was right. That was a bad name for a trophy. But anyway, keep going.
Why? It's a game made for young men.
Yeah, so let's continue to have young men slut shame women who are sex workers.
Slut shame?
Yeah, dude. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a problem with sex workers?
Well, yeah, I think it's immoral.
Okay, well, I don't. I think if a woman wants to do that and she's doing it of her own, volition, I think it's fine. I think the idea that calling someone a hoe, which is a derogatory term, it just doesn't have a place in that game. So I agreed with him, but I don't know how he expressed it, though. Fuck you, Metallic Madness. Fuck you. Hang on, PTurtle. Metallic says, bad name for a trophy. Jaffe has become so weak, it's ridiculous. There's nothing weak about it. If you want to make a trophy and call it, I'm ready to eat vagina, I'm down with it. If you want to make a trophy and call it cunt sandwich, I'm down with it. I'm not opposed to over-the-top sexuality. I would still do God of War with sex. I would still do God of War with nudity. I'm not opposed to that. But I am opposed to being cruel to other people, and when you call someone that, it's disrespectful. That's all I'm saying.
But you're not being cruel. Locker room talk in a kind of a vacuum. That's for men. That's for men.
God of War is not for men. First off,
you're a liar.
I made it. You fuck. I fucking made it.
That game, you had a bunch of women on your mind buying that game.
I didn't have anyone on my mind except what I wanted to play.
That's a lie.
Except what I wanted to play, and then when the focus testers came in, I made changes with the team based on, things that they were confused by or getting stuck on. But the idea,
this guy Adam Sessler, basically in that video was talking about he has a daughter, and if his daughter ever heard this, like, what is she doing playing God of War? It's for boys.
All right. Anyway, let's talk about this lady. Let's talk about this Frosk lady. What do you think about her?
I can summarize this easily. She's basically, I'm not gonna be nasty. I'm not gonna say she's ugly or whatever. But she's clearly no Olivia Munn. That's a fine
I said that earlier. I don't think that's her goal.
I know that.
I don't think she's trying
to
be.
But basically, I don't like the fact that, listen, Olivia Munn has made it to the upper echelons of Hollywood for being a good-looking chick, all right?
No, that is not correct. She is a great actress as well, but you are absolutely right. Anybody who thinks Olivia Munn is only successful because of her acting chops is wrong, but she can act. She sure as fuck can.
I've seen her in a good amount of things. I'm not going to say she's a great. She seems competent.
Watch her in the fucking newsroom, dude. She is fucking great.
I've seen her in the newsroom. I saw that.
Great in the fucking newsroom. All right.
But nevertheless, these women are okay with Olivia Munn benefiting off of these quote unquote thirsty man babies, and they're becoming rich and they're becoming famous over it. And then once they obtain all that fame and all those riches, then they want to say, well, screw you guys. I'm more than just some fine piece of woman. No, I'm not going to say no, you're not. But you know what we want. You know how you got to where you were. It's the same reason why Arnold Schwarzenegger's where he is, all right? He's a muscular guy who is cool to look at, and he got lucky and got in some great action films because of how he looks. You know what I'm saying?
No one is,
but
no one is. Okay, but wait a minute. No one is denying. Saltiest Gamer says PTurtle definitely was one of the ones that stormed the Capitol. I think you're probably right, man. But
no, I'm actually not a Republican or anything like that. But
listen. So no one would deny that part of being in front of a camera on television is part of it is how you look. That is part of the job. It's always been part of the job, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as it doesn't devolve into being cruel to people and sending messages that hurt society. Although they're allowed to do it, I just don't support it. But in the case of this,
let me ask you this: how do you think this woman got that job then?
I want to say she's good. I don't know her, so I haven't watched her. But I would say that I assume she's good on camera because she's been like an online commentator. She's done like esports and stuff like that. So they assume she knew her stuff. She was good on camera. I don't know. You know, she's really young and she's not my type. But I could see someone looking at her and going, she's got this kind of punky tomboy, you know.
It looks like a blonde version of the girl with the dragon tattoo.
That, or she kind of looks, yeah, I mean, so, I mean, I'm not going to judge someone's looks for God's sakes, but I mean, I could see them going, you know, she brings a certain...
Well, why not?
Because I don't feel comfortable doing that because I'm not some great looking guy.
This is the guy who made God of War. The guy who made these big titty women in a bed that you can just run around and fuck up to go.
Right, but
and now you don't feel... This is what I'm talking about. There's a mind virus.
No.
And it is affecting you, man. It has spread. I want to say one thing, Jack. Can I say one thing?
No, because the problem is you don't think in nuance. You think everything is black or white. I have just...
No, I don't. I think it's nuance.
I have just said that I like overt sexuality in my media. I like all of that stuff. I'm not opposed to it. But I also know there's a time and a place for it. And if G4 has said we don't want to be that anymore, just like Meet the Press is not about the host, what's his name, Chuck Todd, you know, the Congress people he brings on have to be fuckable. That's not what it's about. If G4 is saying that's not what we're doing, then I think she's got a great point. But I think you're right. There are certainly shows that say we want attractive people front and center. All right, last word, PTurtle. Finish it up. Last thing, you get the last word.
You gave the last guy before me way more time. I don't know why you always rush me off. But
I rush you because you are like a piece of bubble gum that has a brilliant flavor burst at the beginning, and people are like, "Who is this magnetic motherfucker?" And then after about 3 minutes, they're like, "Okay, I get pretty much what he's about. I want new things."
They're wrong, and you know what's count? You can clearly surmise that.
Oh no, I lost PTurtle. Jaffe couldn't make the games that made him famous now, says Mac Daddy Rick. You're right. I mean, I could, but I couldn't make them at Sony. That's probably fucking true. That's probably fucking true.